What really happens after we die? It's the question we all ask ourselves. Well, today, we're going to explore a really fascinating spiritual framework that lays out a step-by-step journey of the soul, right from that final heartbeat and into the world beyond. So, is it just the end, or is it a new beginning? This perspective gives a surprisingly structured answer, and believe it or not, the journey starts the very second that life as we know it is over. Okay, so let's get right into it. This first stage might actually surprise you. In this framework, the moment the heart stops beating, that's not the final goodbye. Not at all. It's actually the beginning of a critical 48-hour waiting period. I want you to picture this. The body has shut down, but the soul is still right there, perfectly aligned with it, almost like an invisible energetic echo. It hasn't left yet, not by a long shot. And this is where a really interesting spiritual idea connects directly to a cultural practice many of us are familiar with. That 24 to 48-hour period where the soul is just lingering? That's said to be the entire reason for traditions like the wake. It's this sacred time of transition that really needs to be honored. And this is exactly why that waiting period is so critical. The source material is incredibly clear on this point. If the body is cremated while the soul is still fully present, the soul experiences that as if it were being burned alive. It's a profound and terrifying experience that this waiting period is specifically designed to prevent. All right, so once that waiting period is finally over, the soul begins the next step of its journey. A really gentle separation from the physical form it's known for its entire lifetime. The source uses this absolutely beautiful metaphor. It's like a cicada shedding its shell. So this isn't some violent tear, it's a natural, gradual emergence, as the soul just slowly begins to lift out from the upper half of the body. But here's the thing, even as the soul is floating above the body, it isn't completely free, not yet. There's one final connection that remains, and it's called the Reishi-sen, or the spirit cord. It's literally the last tether to the physical world. It's only when this cord finally snaps. That is the moment of final, irreversible death in this spiritual framework. The connection is broken for good, and the soul is now truly separate, and it's ready for the next stage of its journey. So now that the soul is truly free, where does it go? What does it see? Well, it's not just some empty void. There's actually a very structured orientation process waiting for it. Can you imagine the disorientation? You're floating, you're observing things, and then you see your own funeral happening. According to the source, seeing your own portrait displayed at the service is often the moment it finally clicks. That thought of, oh, it seems I'm the one who has died. It's the soul's first real understanding of its new reality. Now, the soul isn't just left alone to try and navigate all of this. A whole support system is already in place. A guardian spirit arrives to offer guidance, loved ones who passed on before come to welcome them, and then a period of training begins. This welcome committee has really clear roles. The guardian spirit is kind of the official guide, your loved ones act as mentors and senior guides, and the training is there to help the soul get used to life without a physical body. Okay, so this whole orientation process eventually leads to a much, much bigger question that underpins this entire worldview. What or who is God? Because according to the source, the single word we use actually refers to two very different concepts. And this distinction is absolutely crucial. On one hand, you have high-level spirits. These are beings who were once human but achieved profound spiritual wisdom. Think of figures like Jesus or Buddha. Then, on the other hand, there is the Creator, a cosmic force that was never human and is the source of all existence. So when most religions talk about God, or when people pray to a specific divine figure, they are very often referring to these high-level spirits. They're the divine teachers, the guides for all of humanity. But beyond these amazing spiritual guides, there's that second, more ultimate concept, the Creator. And this exists on a level far beyond human form and our everyday experience. So the Creator isn't a person with arms and a face. It's described as this vast, intelligent energy or will. It doesn't have a personality like we do, but it is the intelligence behind all the fundamental laws and the very structure of our universe. So what's the argument for this Creator? Well, the source tells us to just look at the universe itself.
The fact that our sun burns at just the right temperature to support life here on Earth, that's not seen as just some random coincidence, but as real evidence of a deliberate, considerate design. The order is just too perfect to be random.
So we've journeyed all the way from the moment of death to the ultimate source of creation. And this entire framework leaves us with one final, really powerful question to think about. If the soul continues on this incredible journey, guided by teachers toward a cosmic creator, well, what are we meant to be learning and achieving right here, right now? What is the purpose of this life before that next journey begins?